Man, I feel like I always find myself reading fantasy books, but it's easy because I can't get enough of them. Even though sometimes, yeah, they are a little outlandish, hard to believe. I just love them so much.
Hey, Talia, it's me, Fantasy Talia. What are you doing?
Oh, hey, Fantasy Talia. Just reading another fantasy book. Do you have any recommendations for fantasy books? I know how much you love them.
No, I don't really have any. My whole life is a fantasy. Bye.
Okay, bye. Well, I have plenty of fantasy and fairy tale recommendations for you, so why don't we go right into the video? Hello everyone, and welcome to another Book Talk with Talia. In today's episode, we're going to be talking all about books that have a little bit of fantasy and fairy tales. So if you're interested, keep on watching. If you're interested in folk tales, check out Lalani of the Distant Sea by Erin and Entrada. When 12-year-old Lalani's mother pricks her finger and gets stuck with a deadly disease, she gives Lalani an impossible task. Lalani has to leave the island where she lives and go to a legendary mountain and find the riches there. But generations of men have died trying to do the same thing, so Lalani's not exactly sure how she's going to survive, and it's even harder because she doesn't have her best friend with her. What's extra cool about this book is that it's inspired by Filipino folklore. And that was Lalani of the Distant Sea by Erin Entrada. If you're a fan of role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, you should pick up Homerooms and Hall Passes by Tom O'Donnell. So in a mystical realm very unlike our own, heroes delve into hidden temples, fight monsters, and evil wizards. But when they're not fighting evil, our group of 5 young heroes likes to unwind by playing a game called Homerooms and Hall Passes. In the game, each person role-plays as an average American 8th grader. But one day, the whole group is transported into the game by a magical evil curse. Now they have to band together to survive their toughest challenge yet, middle school. And that was Homerooms and Hall Passes by Tom O'Donnell. If you like time-traveling books, you should look into Tangled in Time, The Portal by Kathryn Lasky. Life used to be great for 12-year-old Rose. She had a loving mom, great friends, and a growing fashion blog. But when Rose's mom died in a car accident, she was sent to live with a grandmother that she never really knew before. Rose's new school wasn't really great either. There were a lot of mean girls. So Rose liked to comfort herself by going back to her grandmother's house and staying in her grandma's greenhouse. But one night, Rose sees a strange light glowing inside of the greenhouse. When she goes to investigate, she finds herself transported 500 years back in time. Now Rose has to survive in the past somehow and also try to figure out the truth behind her family's past and secrets. And that was Tangled in Time, The Portal by Kathryn Lasky. If you like your fantasy with a little mystery involved, check out Remarkables by Margaret Peterson Haddix. The summer before Marin starts 6th grade, her whole family moves to Pennsylvania because of her mom's new job. She's afraid she won't make any new friends. So when Marin sees some high school-aged people over at a nearby house, she becomes a little interested. She goes closer and then they disappear, magically. Marin ends up meeting her neighbor's grandson, Charlie, and it turns out that he's seen the magical teenagers too. Charlie calls them the Remarkables, but he tells Marin that she shouldn't go near them. But after Marin finds out more about Charlie's family life, she realizes that she may be able to help him by also helping the Remarkables. And that was Remarkables by Margaret Peterson Haddix. If you like classic fairy tales, you will love Bernard Pepperlin by Kara Hoffman. So this book is perfect for those of you who love Alice in Wonderland because it follows the drowsy dormouse from that story. In this book, the dormouse is transported to modern-day New York City. So clearly this is the adventure of a lifetime for him, and he's going to have to save a magical world other than Wonderland. But he cannot fall asleep, and it's going to take a lot of help from his new city friends to succeed. And that was Bernard Pepperlin by Kara Hoffman. For those of you who like fantasy creatures, you should check out Ember and the Ice Dragons by Heather Fawcett. 12-year-old Ember is a dragon, or she was. Ember's adoptive father had to turn her into a human to save her life. Unfortunately, Ember still tends to burst into flames at certain temperatures, and she has invisible wings, so it's kind of hard for her to stay living in London. Ember ends up getting shipped off to her aunt's research facility in Antarctica. Ember feels pretty at home with her aunt and she starts making friends. But Ember also discovers that Antarctica is a place where dragons are hunted. As a dragon herself, Ember decides to join in on the dragon hunt so that she can sabotage it from the inside. But it won't be easy to stay undercover and also save the dragons from extinction. And that was Ember and the Ice Dragons by Heather Fawcett. If you like some futuristic fantasy, you should pick up York #1, The Shadow Cipher by Laura Ruby. Twin brother and sister Tess and Theo and their friend Jaime all live in an apartment building in New York City. Their building is pretty old and it was built a long time ago by the Morningstar twins. The Morningstar twins were these two amazing architects that built almost all of the city back in the 1700s. The twins also made New York City into the most technologically advanced city on the planet. When they constructed everything, they left plenty of mysteries within the city itself. One puzzle in particular, the Old York Cipher, is a treasure hunt that's laid within the city streets. 160 years later, it's still never been solved. A real estate developer is threatening to destroy the Morningstar buildings. So Tess, Theo, and Jaime know they have to do something to save their home. The only way they might be able to do that is by proving the Old York Cipher is real, and also by solving it. And that was York #1, The Shadow Cipher by Laura Ruby. And those are all of the fantasy and fairy tale books that I have for you today, but as always, make sure to leave a comment in the section down below if you have any other fairy tale or fantasy books that you liked, or if any of these sound interesting that you want to talk about it down there below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a single one of my book talks with Talia, and make sure to subscribe and hit that big thumbs up if you are interested in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time, and bye!